Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Golden Jylene. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be this very different green and orange look. It looks very fall inspired, but it was actually spring inspired, so we're just going to go with it. So I start off by applying my Benefit Professional as my primer. And next I go in with two foundations. They're both by CoverGirl. I go in with the Stay Luminous foundation and the Ready Set Gorgeous foundation. And one of them is a little bit more matte, the other one's a little bit more luminous. So I mix them just to make it like that perfect in between. So next I'm just blending that with my Real Techniques complexion sponge. Once I blended that in, I go in with my Urban Decay Naked Skin concealers. I apply the darker one first and the lighter one on top, and I put that on my under eyes, nose, cupid's bow, forehead, and chin. Next I set all of that with the RCMA No Color Powder. This is my favorite powder. I can't say that I like it more than the Laura Mercier powder, but I do just because of the price convenience. It is a lot cheaper. Next I go in with this Wet n Wild, well, it's an eyeliner and brow pencil, but I'm just going to use a little bit to fill in my brows. Next I go in with my e.l.f. brow pencil. First I use a spoolie, but next I actually fill in the rest of my brows. I like to use the Wet n Wild one just to get some color into the brows. I don't know, it's just something I really like doing. Now to carve out any mistakes, I use my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I blend that out, and then I set it with some powder. Now to set all of my face, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Powder. I have hit so much pan on this, but I am struggling to use up the rest that's on the sides because there's still a lot of product on the sides. To bronze and contour, I'm using the Anastasia powders from my contour kit. And I just use every single color. I just like how it looks, and I use that to contour my cheekbones. I use it on my jawline and my forehead and nose. For blush, I use a bunch of different things. So first I go into my Narcissistic Blush Palette, and I take the colors Exhibit A, Me First, and Watch Me. Watch Me is a highlighter. I don't know, I like to mix it with the matte bright red blush. And I use that bright red blush sparingly just because I don't want to look like a clown. Once I'm finished with that palette, I go in with this blush that I got from the Shop Hush website. I got this for free. It's the Italia Deluxe Blush, and it's in the shade Fuchsia. Excuse me. Next, I'm going in with the Brow Gal Insta-Tint, and this is in the shade 3. It's for light hair. It's not that light once it goes on. I really like how it looks. Next, I'm going in with my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk, and I'm just going to use that to make my eyeshadow a lot more vibrant, and I'm just going to blend that all over my eyelid. So next, I'm going to go into my Sephora Pro Editorial Palette, and I'm using the shade Porcelain just to put that in my crease. I'm not applying it all over my lid, I just want to use it to help me blend out my other shades. Next I'm going into this bright orange shade called Tangerine, and I'm also putting that in my crease. This is going to be my transition shade. Once I'm done with that, I go into the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette and I apply this lighter orange shade called Creamsicle, and I'm using this for the purpose of blending. I'm also applying it a little bit higher than the first color that I used. After that, I go back into my Sephora Pro palette and I use the color Amy. This color has a lot less yellow to it, and I'm also putting that in my crease, but I'm putting it under Tangerine. I wanted a really nice gradient effect. Next, I'm taking a clean brush and just blending all those colors together. Right after that, I go into this greenish yellow shade called Jeffrey, and I put that on my outer corner, but it wasn't giving me the color that I wanted, so I used a MAC shadow called New Crop, and I put that in the same place where I put Jeffrey. I don't want the green to be something slight. I was really building those two colors up. Next, I go back into Amy, just because a lot of it did come off when I was applying the green shade, and I did the same thing with Creamsicle. I'm just intensifying those colors. Right after that, I used some concealer to cut half of my crease out. I am really into the half cut crease look. I just like it a little bit better than the whole cut crease look. So I just did that, and after that I used this coppery color in the Sephora Pro palette. It is called Hector E, and I just put that everywhere where I put that concealer. I also use it to blend green a little bit, just so those two colors can have a nice gradient. I just use a brush to apply it in the little areas that my finger couldn't reach. Next I use this Super Shock Shadow by ColourPop. This is the shade Flipper, and I just put that on top, but I really focus it on the inner corners of my eyes because like I said, I really want that nice gradient effect. Next, I go back with Amy and again, just intensify it again because a lot of these shades did get lost, so it did take a while for me to get it to look the way I wanted it to. Next, I go back into Hector E, and I really focus this right where the green finishes, if that makes sense, because I want them to blend beautifully. I don't want it to just look like a harsh line between the green and the copper. I used a brush to intensify the green. Next, I use this beautiful duochrome shade from the Sephora Pro palette called White Gold. I use it for my brow bone highlight. Next, I use another duochrome, and this is a green called Juliet, and I use it for my inner corners. Right after that, I use the Maybelline Master Precise Ink Metallic Eyeliner. This is in the shade Teal Galaxy. I use that to line my upper lash line and create a wing. After that, I use the L'Oreal Infallible Paint Liquid Eyeliner in the shade White Party, but I felt like it wasn't intense enough, and I decided to go over it with the NYX White Liquid Liner. I'm just using this to underline the green. Right after that, I use a black eyeliner. This is a very cheap one, don't even know the name of the brand, just to line my waterline and tight line. Next, I go back into the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I use this red shade called Hunt, and I just use that to blend the black eyeliner out on my lower lash line. And I didn't realize I wasn't recording, so off camera, I sprayed my entire face with MAC Fix Plus, and I highlighted with the shade Eclipse from the Aurora Glow Kit. And I did my eyelashes with the Tarte's Mascara. As usual, I do that off camera. And finally, for lipstick, I use the MAC lipstick called Mangrove. This is the final look, you guys. I think it's really beautiful. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!